Welcome, everyone, to the Week 12 series of Just Saying Football with Jack and Sean. I'm your host, Sean Gannon, alongside my partner, Jack McNicholas. We're here to bring you news, notes, weekly updates, and game analysis of your favorite teams from around the league. If you had not had the chance, go check us out at justsayingfootball.com and follow us on Instagram at JustSayingNoGWJS for article and video updates. Before we get into Thursday's games, happy Thanksgiving, Jack. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone listening. Hope everyone's going to enjoy a delicious, delicious meal. Get a lot of turkey, get a lot of mashed potatoes, some cranberry sauce, stuffing.
Maybe a little stuffing.
Yeah, stuffing's the best, man. Stuffing's the best. It's honestly my personal favorite. Sometimes my dad cuts up a little bacon, throws it in there. Everything's better with bacon. You heard it from me first. I'm the only one to have ever said that. Before we get into the games as well, we have an update. The Ravens game against the Steelers is going to be postponed. That is now moved to Sunday at 1 o'clock. COVID cases were coming out. Saw stars like J.K. Dobbins, Mark Ingram have positive cases, as well as a bunch of the staff members and a lot of close contacts. So they didn't want to risk it coming up to this game and decided to postpone it. It sucks because it was a Thanksgiving game. Would have been a great one to have at night. But let's get into it. We got a 12:30 matchup. Yes, that's right. You heard me, 12:30. It starts early on Thanksgiving. It's one of the best days of the year. Houston Texans are heading out to Detroit, Michigan to take on the Lions. Jack, what you got for us?
We got a 3-7 Houston Texans team, as you mentioned, going to Detroit, 4-6. Both of these teams this year, they had high expectations for themselves. And right now, the main matchup we're looking for in this is Matthew Stafford versus Deshaun Watson. Matthew Stafford, this team last week, 0 points. This was a pretty terrible shutout right now, and they've lost the last 3 out of 4. So I think a win at home on Thanksgiving. This is their time of year where, the Detroit Lions get to shine. Thanksgiving. They don't really make the playoffs much. This is their prime time to shine. But the Texans, after Deshaun Watson's performance last week, I'm looking out for them as well.
I mean, you just said exactly what I'm thinking. His performance last week against the Patriots was stellar. 28 of 37, 344, 2 TDs. Also had 6 carries for 36 yards and a touchdown on the ground. He's doing it all, showing us why he was one of the former first-round picks being taken. Shows why he was one of the best quarterbacks of that draft. One of the best quarterbacks, obviously, in the league, young and up and coming. The downfall is, though, he's going to be out with 2 main wide receivers. That's going to be Kenny Still and Randall Cobb. So he's really going to be relying on Will Fuller and Kiki Kuti to kind of get it done this week. But on the flip, I'm seeing this. Jeff Okudah's going to be out this game, which means it's all up to Desmond Trufant to try to handle the speedster of Will Fuller. And honestly, I think that's a mismatch. I think that Will Fuller is going to be able to get right by him. Desmond Trufant's a little bit older cornerback. He's still solid, but Okudah offers a little bit more speed to keep up with Fuller. And without that, that's a big mismatch that Deshaun Watson's going to look to try to take advantage of this week.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Will Fuller is somebody to look out for, especially – Cobb and Still's out this week. It's going to be tough. Cobb on IR. And now, we are going to look at that matchup against Desmond Trufant, the corner for Detroit. He's been giving up some big plays this year. That's definitely something to watch out for. This game, we talked about the offense so far, but who are some defensive players to watch out for on both these teams? They haven't really been teams that are intimidating on that side of the ball. On the rush game, Detroit's ranking 29th, against the run, and Houston is the worst against the run in the league. So who are we looking out for on the defense to make a big difference?
I think, as always, it's going to come down to J.J. Watt when you're looking at the Texans. And the main reason why is just because he kind of came out, talked a little bit about this week and what it means to be on this team right now, where it's at and where he's at in his career. This is a very beatable Lions team. He knows what it's going to take to try to get him back on track as best as they can. That's kind of hard to do when you're sitting at a 3-7 record in a tough AFC South division. But I think this is where you got to lean on your veterans, lean on the guys who've been in these situations, lean on the guys who have been playing throughout their career, and really try to get this team going, really try to set the tone on defense. That's what J.J. Watt does best, and get after an injured Matthew Stafford.
Yeah. Oh my God. And that's a tough thing. Matthew Stafford, I feel like every week he's had, an ailment with the COVID list, or he's been just banged up on the field, still playing through it. What I really want to see from, this team is, as you mentioned, J.J. Watt and this Texans defense. I'm looking at Zach Cunningham right now, who is, leading this team on the season, 101 tackles. Just to give you a reference, the next person is 63rd. I do believe the Texans are going to take this one. As you mentioned, there's a good matchup there on the offense for them to make a difference. I'm liking what I'm seeing from Deshaun Watson, and I think that the defense is going to step up tomorrow.
Yeah, I got to disagree with you. I'm going to go with the Lions. I think one of the things that's really making me feel this way is there is going to be no Laramie Tunsil for them, which is that Trey
Okay.
Flowers, the defensive end of the Lions, could potentially have a big day, just making Watson uncomfortable, forcing passes to Kiki Kuti, to Will Fuller, to Brandon Cooks that he's not necessarily wanting to throw at that moment. And I also think that looks like DeAndre Swift is going to be in this game. He's coming off the concussion protocol. He was in practice as a limited participant today. Hopefully he's going to be out there tomorrow because this team was in desperate need of a running attack after last week's embarrassment of 40 yards on 18 carries. It's just unacceptable. And against one of the worst ranked run defenses, this is an opportunity for them to get to rely on him. He's shown us some flashes what he can do in the pass game as well. So I expect a big game from Swift as he's in. And I think that the Lions can actually surprise and get a win at home.
Yeah, I mean that's great. It's gonna be one of those great Thanksgiving games. We've seen the Texans and Lions play before, and we've seen some great overtime matchups. What we're looking at in the next game here, our last game of the day, unfortunately, due to the Ravens Steelers being out. We have the Washington football team 3-7, Dallas Cowboys 3-7. Last week the Cowboys got the surprise win over your Vikings. Andy Dalton threw 3 touchdowns. CeeDee Lamb, you were talking about it all week. The CeeDee Lamb incredible twist and catch in the end zone. He's looking great as a rookie.
That was fantastic. That catch, by the way, that body control was unreal. That was great. That was a really, really good catch.
Yeah, and we've talked about him all offseason when he came out of Oklahoma, when he got on the Cowboys. I was just saying, you said about the Cowboys that this season their defense was going to struggle, and that has been very evident this year. I don't know what's going on with them. They're 31st ranked in the pass, but defending it. But, on the offensive side, like I'm talking about with CeeDee Lamb, they got a real weapon there.
Yeah, Lamb is a threat, I think, especially it looks like after last week, him and Andy Dalton seem to be having a better rapport. But Washington's defense ranked number 1 in pass. It's really interesting. They're only letting up 195 passing yards. The last time these two teams played, Dalton got injured on a cheap shot. Absolutely. It was definitely a cheap shot. Shouldn't have happened. But they got absolutely routed. It was a 25-3 game. It did not look pretty. Ben DiNucci had to come in. This is not the game that you wanted to see if you were a Cowboys fans. And I think what you're hoping for is that the Cowboys can build off this. Zeke finally got his first 100-yard game, got his first touchdown since week 5. Things seem to be going well for him. They moved Zach Barn out to the right tackle. I don't know if he's going to be there again tomorrow, but it seemed to have helped out their offensive line a little bit, and they're going to need this up against a young Chase Young who's shown flashes of why he was picked number 2. And they're really going to need to protect Andy Dalton again if they expect to win this game.
Yeah, I mean, and they're going to have to bring the pressure as they have all season. That is a big reason why I believe that they've been able to be the number 1 ranked pass defense. When you have guys just flying at you as the quarterback, it's so hard to get the ball off. And what I'm looking at here, though, is the run game. Last time these two teams met, Washington ran the ball 39 times for 208 and a touchdown on the ground as a team. That was obviously because they had the lead. The game script changed. But Antonio Gibson, he has been absolutely electric this year. Last time they played week 1, he had 20 rushes. Last time they played, 20 rushes, 128 and a touchdown on them. That is very impressive to me with him.
Yeah, he did fantastic. And speaking about him last week, he was 15 for 94 and a touchdown. This rookie out of Memphis has been absolutely great and a huge bright spot for an otherwise not super great Washington offense. Obviously, you have Terry McLaurin, who's a fantastic wide receiver, definitely up and coming, a rising superstar. Who you got in this game, though? I'm a little on the fence. I need some convincing here. I genuinely don't know who's going to win this game. I know it has a huge playoff implication. It means winner of this could be the winner of the NFC East division. That's a little upsetting because they're both at 3-7. But I genuinely don't know. This to me is like a very, very heightened 50-50 game. I like Washington's defense, but I don't love their offense. I like Cowboys' offense, but I don't love their defense.
Yeah, no, you're saying, you're like preaching to the choir here. When we're talking about Washington's offense, they're 29th ranked right now, only scoring 20 points a game. And, Dallas, they're allowing the most amount of points a game, allowing 31.8. And, to me, I am going to go with Washington only because they are allowing ninth least amount of points per game. I don't believe they're going to allow Zeke to score. I don't think that these three passing weapons are enough for the secondary in Washington right now that the Dallas has, that they're going to play against some CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, Cooper. Although Cooper has been amazing, he has just been getting a lot of targets on this QB carousel in Dallas. But I'm going to go with Washington. I think that they bring the boom this week. They bring the pressure. As you mentioned, they just got to get to Andy Dalton. They gotta make him try to, get out of his comfort zone.
All right, I'm just gonna be different from you. I still know who's gonna win this game. I think Mike McCarthy's gonna smash another watermelon, get this team amped, and I think that the Cowboys are gonna walk away with another win because Mike McCarthy has smashed a watermelon, and it worked for them last week. It's gonna work for them again. It's gonna be
I
the
love
Cowboys.
that. Yeah. So, do you believe that Zeke in this game, he had his first 100-yard game last week? You asked last week whether he would. You said that he would get it. Does he get that this week against the Washington defense right now? That is ranked 24th a game. That is actually ranked 18th a game, allowing 120 yards on the ground per game.
I'm gonna say he doesn't. This team did a great job the last time containing him. He was 12 for 45 the last game, and while I think that he's gonna see a bunch of carries, probably similar to last week, hovering around 20. While I don't think he's gonna get 100 yards, I'll put him more at like 22 and 80. I do think he's gonna get a rushing touchdown. The touchdown that I mentioned at the beginning was his first touchdown from week 5, but it was a receiving touchdown. I think tomorrow he's going to get a rushing touchdown instead.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the thing that changes from week 5. But I don't think he's going to get another 100-yard because they know how important his success is to Andy Dalton's success, because that's what made them so good last week against my Vikings. So if you're Washington, contain Zeke, and then hopefully Dalton will just sort of collapse.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we got a couple of Thanksgiving matchups, something to fill in that afternoon hanging out with the families.
Yep, and thank you everyone for listening. That is all the time that we have. We hope everyone has a really safe and great Thanksgiving. Enjoy a lot of food, enjoy some football, take the day off from work, school, whatever else you're doing.
Yeah, enjoy the day. Just relax. That Ravens-Steelers game won't be there, but these other two will. Enjoy them. That's all we got. Just Saying. Always remember to watch Just Saying Football on YouTube, justsayingfootball.com, and Just Saying No G WJS on Instagram for any of your video updates. So check it out when we're putting out videos.
Enjoy.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you.